Betty and Joan and Baby Jane by Tracy Ann Oberman.
But he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie.
My dears, look at us all dressed in black. We look like 3 black widow spiders. Are we all okay for drinks, Betty?
What is this?
Scotch on the rocks.
Oh, don't worry about me, Hedda, dear, bless you. I bought my own.
Oh, don't tell me, Joan. Is it your endorsement drink, Pepsi Cola?
Not on this occasion, my dear. Something a little stronger. But if you do want to mention my darling departed Al's Corporation at any point during the interview, please feel free.
I'll try, my dear. So, are we all happy, comfortable?
Fire away, Hedda.
It's terribly exciting.
Well, let's begin. Stars of the night tend to keep fixed orbits and never collide. Well, in my many years as Hollywood's #1 correspondent, I've noticed that stars in this city operate in a similar way. I'm Hedda Hopper, and I'm talking to my 2 absolute all-time favorite stars, not to mention close personal friends Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, here in the comfort and peace of my own home in the Hollywood Hills. Blah, 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 boys and sub, add my usual for that bit. Now, you 2 stars of equal magnitude ruled the motion picture industry during the fabulous 30s, but you never really got to know each other.
Well, Hedda, we've both been so busy with our careers and bringing up our families, and sometimes it's hard to find time for anything else, no matter how much you'd adore to. But I've always admired Betty, and I'm delighted to be working with her at last.
Oh, lovely. Everyone expects a huge power play between you 2 grand ladies of the silver screen. I have to say, the rumor mill is working overtime already.
It makes me laugh, Hedda. But we're just 2 professional dames doing our job.
1961 is shaping up to be a wonderful year for the motion picture industry. Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable filming The Misfits, the divine Miss Audrey Hepburn about to do Breakfast at Tiffany's, and sweet Anne Bancroft in The Miracle Worker. But what everyone is just wild to know is this. What is really going on behind the scenes of whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Nothing. We're just working hard on a great script.
It's rather sad, isn't it, that 2 well-respected actresses could not make a movie without all this nonsense.
Everybody would love to think we're going to kill each other, but we're fooling them. We're tempted to hang a sign on the set saying, "Sorry, folks, we're getting along beautifully."
You 2 marvelous ladies do have so much in common. My readers may not be aware that you have 3 Oscars between you and countless nominations along the way. You are both Aries. You have both had 4 husbands. In fact, I believe you have both romanced the same beau, the gorgeous actor, Monsieur Franchot Tone.
One of my husbands.
Oh, of course, silly me. I forgot you married him.
Yes, she did. But that was years ago.
A lifetime.
Let's talk a bit about the film. It's taken from a novel by Henry Farrell, and it's about 2 middle-aged sisters retired from show business who are living together. Baby Jane Hudson...
That's my character. The youngest sister.
...was a child dancer in vaudeville whose career never took off as an adult. And Blanche, that must be you, Joan,
Yes,
is a former stage star crippled in a mysterious accident and confined to a wheelchair.
It'll just tear you to pieces.
Oh, I can imagine.
I wanted to get it absolutely right, Hedda. I've spent weeks learning how to use the wheelchair.
So this is unlike any part you've ever played before?
It's the most complex, and I'm relishing every minute.
So, Betty, both sisters have failed careers behind them and are living in a house of hate here in Los Angeles on the invalid sister's meager savings.
Jane looks after Blanche, but she's full of bitterness and hatred. She holds grudges and slights, real and imagined.
That must be a lot of fun to play, Betty, and no doubt you bring your usual genius to the role.
It takes guts to hurt someone.
That's what's wonderful for me. You know, I normally play the bitches, Hedda. Now I just sit back in my wheelchair and watch Betty do it.
The director is Robert Aldrich, whom I believe you've worked with, Joan, on Autumn Leaves.
Oh, he's a wonderful director. Dream. So attentive to his stars. He just wants us both to be happy.
And creative.
Robert, can I have a word, please?
Okay, well, that's it, everyone. That's the test. That's what it's gonna look like. Thank you, and I'll get back to the heads of the department with any notes by the end of today. Betty, Joan, I think this is the bravest, most wonderful thing you're doing.
I can't, Bob. I just can't. I can't do it to my fans. I look awful, frightening, old.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Don't tell me you don't feel the same way, Betty. I saw you sniffing into your hanky.
Sure, it's a shock. But it's right for the part, Joan.
I just can't.
Look, if it upsets you so much, you play Jane and I'll play Blanche. It makes no difference to me.
Oh, God!
I guess that means I'm sticking with Jane.
Norma Koch is costume designing, isn't she?
She's brilliant. She really understands this film. It's not a vanity piece.
Oh, don't I know it? You should see some of the costumes I have to wear. It's taken some getting used to, I can tell you.
Joan brought in a few negligees from home to try out.
I just thought that Blanche had been a big star once. I don't believe she'd let herself go like Jane.
She's a crippled recluse.
Just because a person is crippled doesn't mean they don't want to look pretty. Once a star, always a star, and I don't want anyone to forget what Blanche once was.
You mean you don't want anyone to forget what you once were?
Oh, Betty, you're such a joker.
Joan is going to be marvelous in this picture. Don't mind me. It's just my way.
Hetty, dear, we're going to have to wrap this up soon. I'm so sorry. My chauffeur and secretary will be here any minute.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just marvelous. I think I've got everything I need here. Thank you so much, ladies. But please, before you go, indulge me for a few moments. Betty, Joan, let's go off the record. Now, let me be blunt about this. What I am dying to know is why you two have been at war for over 4 decades. Now, I could reel off a list of things you've said about each other, calling each other snakes and sluts and worse, but I don't want to bring all that ugly stuff up, do I? What I do want is, where did this rivalry start? Whatever happened to Betty and Joan?
Cute, Hedda.
Well, why don't you two get along? What happened?
Nothing happened, Hedda. There is no rivalry. It's all pure fantasy.
You're not getting anything out of me, Hedda. Joan and I have hardly met over the years.
Oh, please, ladies.
Oh, I have to leave, Hedda. I'm so sorry. I have to get my beauty sleep. Early filming. I'm so sorry.
You're barking up the wrong tree, Hedda.
Stars of the night. Well, I'm not going to get a story that way.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm totally lost.
Oh, what a lovely bouquet.
I have to take them to Miss Crawford's dressing room, but I don't know where the heck I am.
Neither do I, my dear. And I am Joan Crawford.
Of course you are. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't...
Recognize me? How times have changed.
Oh, no, ma'am. I didn't mean that, ma'am. I just didn't expect to see you here so early. Of course I recognize you. You're the biggest star in the world.
What's your name?
Billy, ma'am. Billy Miller.
And what are you doing on my picture, Billy Miller?
Makeup. I'm Mr. Westmore's junior assistant, ma'am. I have these flowers for you from Mr. Aldrich, and I have this bag from Mr. Westmore. It's full of your vitamin drink.
Oh, you're Monty's new boy. Oh, bless you, bless you. Aren't you a pretty one? How lovely, how lovely. Stella, will you help the boy, please? Take this special bag. And is this your first picture, Billy Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you just follow me, my dear. I tell you a secret, Billy. I've no idea where my dressing room is either. I've never worked in a studio. It's a little smaller than I'm used to, and I don't have a clue as to where everything is yet. So you and I can be the new boys together. Oh, here it is. Oh, see? Miss Joan Crawford on the door. Oh, sweet. With a little star on it. Estella, it's askew. See to it, dear. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. This won't do. This won't do at all. Estella, get Bill Aldrich in here at once.
Is everything okay with your room, Miss Davis, ma'am? Miss Callahan told me to ask you if you need anything.
It's got a chair, it's got a desk, it's got a mirror. And with my face, I don't need the mirror.
Ma'am, Miss Callahan told me to tell you that Miss Crawford is having a bookcase put up for her secretary, and her cabinet has been brought from home, and an armchair. The carpenters wondered if you needed the same, ma'am.
Kid, dressing rooms do not make good movies. Name me one Oscar-winning dressing room. I didn't win 2 of them by having my goddamn bureau brought from home.
No, ma'am. She just thought...
I know what she thought. Get me a cigarette and a drink.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, ma'am.
What is this fizzy crap? Christ, has she put it on tap for everyone?
All around the stage, ma'am.
Do you know why that is? Shall I enlighten you? It's because Mr. Al Steele, Miss Crawford's late husband, was president of the company. And my esteemed co-star is paid a whopping great fee to make sure that that stuff is poured down the throat of every man, woman, beast, and child who crosses her path.
Oh.
When I drink only whiskey. Straight talking, plain, good old-fashioned whiskey. Pass me those cigarettes.
What can I tell you? I don't know what to say. There's certainly some strange behavior going on, I can tell you that. Every day when the two of them are on set together, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. Right now, no one has any idea just how this movie's going to turn out. Mr. Peterson on wardrobe said today, looking at these two, he has no idea if this movie's going to turn out.
Why do you keep coming in here? What are you doing in here?
Gosh, I'm so sorry, Miss Davis, ma'am. I just want to see if I can be of help in any way.
In what way, pray?
I don't know, ma'am. I just see Miss Crawford with all her people, and I know you don't have anyone around you, and I guess I just want to be of service. Should I go now?
No, stay. You can help me with my lines. It's marked. You ready?
Ready.
Blanche, you aren't ever going to sell this house, and you aren't ever going to leave it, either.
Jane, do you remember when I first came back, after the accident?
You promised you wouldn't ever talk about that again.
I know I did, but I'm still in this chair. After all these years, I'm still in this chair. Doesn't that give you some kind of responsibility? Jane, I'm just trying to explain to you how things really are. You wouldn't be able to do these awful things to me if I weren't still in this chair.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair. It's not working. Something's not right. I can't put my finger on it. But she's not here yet.
You're just marvelous, Miss Davis.
What do you do, kid?
I set up for Mr. Westmore and Peggy Shannon.
Yeah, I know that, but what do you do? What do you want to do?
I want to do makeup, ma'am.
Uh-huh. So what is it? The makeup. I know what I want. I want to look like Mary Pickford in decay.
You know, Miss Davis, Peggy Shannon was talking about the old musicals at MGM this morning.
Yeah, go on.
She said that all the extras used to come in and get their makeup done on the first day, and they loved it so much that they never took it off for the whole film.
They just added more and more every day?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that. Do mine. Do my makeup like that.
Oh, Miss Davis, I couldn't. I'm not allowed to touch your face. I'm only an assistant. It's against the rules, Miss Davis.
Rules? In Hollywood? Let me tell you about rules. When I got here, you couldn't have a career and be ugly. Well, I dared to be ugly, and I got 2 Oscars and 7 nominations. You couldn't be a woman and speak out. Well, I stood up and shouted to the rooftops about my casting. You couldn't take on the studios. Well, I took the studios to court and I won. I created my career, not them. So don't talk to me about rules, kid.
Yes, Miss Davis.
Hell, Jack Warner even said he respected me. Once. So what's the first rule of makeup?
Be subtle, ma'am.
Yeah, kid. Well, get your brushes out. We've got some rules to break. Okay. Now get that coal and ring it around my eyes. Go on, Billy boy, just like that. Okay, more. Oh, blacker. Blacker like a panda. Okay? Right now. Now whiten my face with that pancake. No, whiter. You know, like a geisha mask. Great. And now the lips. Over apply. Over apply. Yeah, that's it, Billy. Harder. Bigger. Right now the cheeks. Rub it into all the lines like a crazy China doll. Pinker. Redder. Apple cheeks. Yes, that's it. Like I've got 20 years of makeup all caked in. Now plonk the wig off. Too straight. Yeah, then pull it over a little on one side. I don't care if you can see the line. Oh, Billy. That's it. That's perfect. That's Baby Jane Hudson. But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
Well, did you get it?
Yes, ma'am. It's here.
What took you so long? I sent Estella to find you.
I had to go off the lot.
Well, publicity wouldn't give it to you?
They said they didn't have it, Miss Crawford.
Well, that does not bode well. Please, remove your shoes. There's mud on them. Oh, God, look at me. I'm shaking like a leaf.
Oh, please, Miss Crawford, please don't upset yourself.
I don't know what to expect when I open that magazine, Billy. It's a different world now. When I was 7 years old, I saved up my pennies and I went to the movies and I watched Little Mary Pickford and Little Lord Fauntleroy up there on the shining big screen. She was magical, like a little golden goddess, and it changed my life. I didn't want to know her. Even when she became my mother-in-law, I just wanted her to go on being a star, and I wanted to be up there with her. I came from nothing. I had nothing. No father, lousy brother, no good uncles trying to touch me all the time. I earned every dime I ever had myself, and I made it. I made people happy. And now they hate me for it. Give me that magazine.
So tell me, what did it say?
It wasn't good, Miss Davis.
Tell me.
Why They Hate Joan Crawford by showbiz reporter Roby Hurd.
Let me see that. That's good.
Why They Hate Joan Crawford
By showbiz reporter Roby Hurd.
Betty Ann, wife of Sterling Hayden, said, "There is nothing too bad to say about Joan Crawford. If I ever see her again, I'll probably strike her face." Even Mercedes McCambridge, after everything I tried to do to help her. I am ashamed of myself because I have lacked the courage to tell the world what Joan Crawford really is, what she does to people in the studios, but she destroys those who oppose her.
But she destroys those who oppose her.
Oh, Billy boy, this is priceless.
For years, Crawford has gotten away with her knife-in-the-back behavior because fellow stars and newspaper people were afraid to attack her.
Oh, this is beautiful. Billy, has Miss Davis seen this?
I have no idea, Miss Crawford. I doubt it. You can't get it anywhere near the studio, ma'am.
I bet she's loving it, every word. I bet she just plunged the knife in when she got the call. Well, let's see, huh? Let's see what that bitch has to say about me. On the subject of Miss Crawford, Miss Davis declined to comment. What a bitch!
And action! And cut!
Did you see her, Billy? Did you see it? Did you see her face when she lifted up the platter and the rat was there? The real rat. She didn't know it was coming. Oh, my. I'm getting a performance out of that lazy bitch. A performance that no one's been able to get in 40 years, and I'm not even a director.
I've had Adele Aldrich in tears all morning. She doesn't want her dad to see, so she keeps darting outside. She says that Miss Crawford has been truly hateful to her all week, screaming, shouting at her, telling her that she's no good at her job and that her continuity notes don't add up. She is really cut up about it. I said it seemed that it's Miss Davis who's always bawling her out. "No, Billy," she sniffed. "Betty screams at me, sure, but then she shows me where I went wrong and how to do it better. She's teaching me. Crawford screams at me because she can, and because she likes it."
I've been watching you, Billy. The way you handle yourself on set. You're a fast learner.
Well, it's all down to you, Miss Davis. I watch you all the time. I guess you show me that you can break the rules.
You want to know the only rule I've never broken? In all my years in this business, Billy, it's be professional. Always be professional.
Cut!
Oh my God, she's hurt!
Dear reader, this is Hedda Hopper reporting from the bedside of my dear friend and Hollywood legend, Miss Joan Crawford, who has been rushed to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. She sustained considerable wounds during filming with her co-star, Miss Bette Davis, on the set of their latest motion picture, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Miss Crawford, Joan, are you able to speak? How are you?
Miss Hopper, I do not hold Miss Davis responsible for my 2 broken ribs and numerous head wounds that have required stitches. It was just one of those things. But I do feel so much better since having my daily glass of Pepsi Cola. Why, it's almost medicinal.
Oh, for crying out loud, Joan, not here.
Why don't I like her, Billy? What a question.
You asked me what people were thinking, Miss Davis.
It's complicated.
Someone said it was something to do with you both being in competition for an Oscar.
When Mildred Pierce trounced the corners green? Yeah, I can see why people would think that. That should have been Barbara Stanwyck's picture, do you know that? She was Mildred, but Crawford rubbed her blind. Went behind her back and begged Jack Warner for a screen test. And then she did her number on the director, too. She promised that cold bastard Curtis that she'd tone down the war paint and the heels, just like she did for Aldrich on this. She tested like a dream, stole the part, and then pulled the same crap she has here. Mildred Pierce was meant to be a working-class broad who sold ass for her daughter's upbringing, but no, phony Joni changed all that. Frocks customized, full cocktail glamour when she's waitressing, and she dropped a character's age by 7 years. I mean, please, is that an actress? She didn't even know what she had there. It was a gem of a part. She should have risked it. Played it naked and raw, like I would have done.
I never saw it, Miss Davis. Did it do well?
Got 7 nominations, if that's considered doing well. And it won her the Oscar. That was the day I thought I might as well give up acting.
I guess that would be a hard pill to swallow.
That, my dear, is what they call an understatement.
I know I haven't been on too many movies. Well, on any other movies. But of all the other movies I haven't been on, I doubt anything as crazy as this could have happened. Today, Miss Crawford and Miss Davis filmed a scene where Baby Jane has to drag her sister out of the wheelchair. Miss Crawford had been in her dressing room all morning, which is unusual, as she likes to sit with the crew and her secretary and knit. Well, she kept out of sight until they were both called to set. Miss Davis said something like,
Remember, you must be careful of my back, Joan. Please remember my back.
Miss Crawford just smiled. Mr. Aldrich called action and the scene went brilliantly. One continuous take. Until he shouted cut. Then...
Oh, my back! Oh, God, my back!
She just collapsed. Right there. And Miss Crawford, she just smiled, stepped over her...
Oh, excuse me, dear.
...and walked back to her dressing room. Later on that day, I heard that she got someone to sew some weights into the hem of her skirt. That's what Gracie Reed from Wardrobe said must have happened. Now Miss Davis is in the hospital having her back looked at, and we're all waiting around again.
Oh, it's you, Billy. I thought it might be Estella. Have you seen her?
No, Miss Crawford.
Oh. Dear, would you go to the special bag and pass me another vitamin drink?
Here,
Oh,
ma'am.
bless you. Are you a good son, Billy?
I try to be, ma'am.
Do you write home and call?
Yes, ma'am, every Sunday.
You're such a nice boy. And pretty, too. Why, those eyelashes are practically illegal. You're exactly the sort of boy I should have adopted, Billy. Do you have parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Shame. Have you told your mother that you're working with Joan Crawford?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
What did she say, dear?
Very excited, ma'am. Mildred Pierce is her favorite movie, ma'am. Of all time, and mine.
Oh, bless her. It is a wonderful picture. I'll sign you a photograph for her. What's her name?
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Her name is Faye, ma'am. Faye Miller.
what was it like to win the Oscar that night?
Oh, it was very nice, but I did have a terribly sore throat. There, to my dear Fay. Your mother must be very proud of you, dear. You're a good boy, always polite and helpful.
Thank you, ma'am.
My mother was a bitch, Billy. An absolute bitch. You're lucky to have such a fine mother. With a good mother, you can go anywhere, do anything. That's why I try so hard to be the perfect mother to Christina and Michael and the twins. To give them everything I went without.
They are very lucky to have you, ma'am.
Well, I sometimes wonder whether they understand how lucky they are. Christina takes a lot for granted. She's always scribbling away in that diary of hers. Lord knows what she's writing. But it won't be any good. Should not amount to much. I have high hopes of the twins, though. Good girls.
They are very lovely, ma'am.
Yes, they are. I have high hopes of those girls. But what about you? How are you finding your first foray into the world of Hollywood?
It's very interesting. I'm learning so much.
Truly. I think Hollywood now is the most depressing place in the entire world. It's just a snobbish little clique. Oh, pass me the ice, dear, thank you. It's a clique, that's what it is.
But surely Mr. Aldrich...
Bob Aldrich? That snake? To listen to him, you'd think this is his picture.
It isn't?
It was me, my idea, my baby. I brought the book to him. I found it. I gave Aldrich Davis on a plate, and you know what I had to do?
No, Miss Crawford. What did you have to do?
Fly. I had to fly, dear, in my diamonds and sables to the East Coast to see her perform some part in a play. She wasn't even the third lead. She'd had dreadful reviews, and the rest of the cast hated her. She was bullying the leading lady and acting like the stinker she is. I know all about her jealousy and bullying. Do you know how hard I have tried to be friends with that woman over the years? To be pleasant in the face of rudeness and cruelty and slights. Do you know?
No, ma'am.
No, you don't. So I sat through that dreadful play, and afterwards I went backstage to see her. Betty! Betty! Oh, my dear, you were just marvelous. I don't know what to say. What a brave performance. I'm just speechless. What a wonderful part. What a wonderful play. No wonder you just leapt to play it.
What do you want, Joan?
I came to see you, my dear. I wanted to support you.
How very touching. Now spit it out. Whatever it is, I haven't got all night.
Okay. I'm here to offer you a lifeline, Betty. Party's over. They don't need us anymore. They have TV now. We can either be in each other's life rafts or we can sink. I got a book. I want you to read it. I think we can make a wonderful movie together. Think it over. I gave her this comeback. And you know what?
What?
She went behind my back. She got Aldrich to give her a higher fee than me. And this I only know because the idiot sent me her contract by mistake. And now she's directing this whole picture through him. Every night on the phone to him, hours of it, I know. Screaming and ranting. How are you gonna fix Joan? She looks too pretty. Jesus! Doesn't she realize this film is Beauty and the Beast? You can't have two beasts!
What's going on next door? Huh? Spill it, Billy boy.
I don't know, Miss Davis. I just do the brushes.
Another rule, Billy. Don't kid her. What bugs crawled up her ass this time? Bob says he had her on the phone till 4 a.m. last night, crying and cursing.
I really don't know, Miss Davis.
Billy?
I think she's a little upset that this movie was her idea, and now she feels that her movies...
Her idea?
Well, that's what she said.
She brought me the book. But it was Bob who sent me the script, with the most arrogant letter I've ever received. If this isn't the best script you've ever read, then don't get back to me. I thought the script was okay, so I got back to him. He begged me to be in this picture. He knew he couldn't make it without me. In the end, I said, yeah, I'm interested. But I've got 2 stipulations. 1, I get top billing, and 2, have you ever screwed Crawford? No, he says. Well, you're not to screw her on this. She's got this little habit, you know, of humping her directors. Okay, I said, that's the deal. Count me in. But still, I have to be on the phone to goddamn Aldrich all night.
What about?
About her goddamn close-ups. Her goddamn soft close-ups. And do you know what he said?
No.
The film can take it.
No.
Yes. How dare he? I'm burning up that screen every single day. I'm obliterating her with every line. She doesn't work with me. She just looks into the middle distance and widens her eyes. But according to him, she brings a softness that makes the film more palatable. And he says he hasn't slept with her.
Miss Crawford? I have a message from Mr. Aldrich. There's a problem on set.
Oh, really?
With Miss Davis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the scene on the phone. She's having trouble imitating your voice, and Mr. Aldrich needs you to come down and do it for her.
Well, of course he does, my dear. Nobody can imitate Joan Crawford. You can impersonate Monroe or Davis, but not me. And you know why?
No.
Because I've only ever drawn on myself. Tell Miss Davis I'll be right down to help her.
Who does she think she is? Can you believe that? Patronizing me in front of everyone? Don't feel bad, Betty. Many people have tried to imitate me and failed. Of course they failed. That voice. You can't imitate an imitation. Phony Joni.
Whiskey, Miss Davis?
She thinks she's an actress. She's not an actress. The only thing she's ever done well in this town is sex. I won't forget it. 17 years old, straight from the stage, being paraded from office to office, being told that, yeah, the kid can act, but she's not sexy. She's no Joan Crawford.
Miss Davis, have a whiskey.
You don't know what it's been like with her all these years.
Did you two ever fight over a man?
What?
Well, I just wondered if you'd ever...
Yeah, I heard what you said. You've done your research.
I'm sorry.
You want me to tell you everything? About Franchot?
No, Miss Davis. Gosh, I'm sorry if I upset you.
Are you a homosexual?
Excuse me?
Come on now, you want me to spill my guts?
I don't know.
I know what you are. I've seen Billy Millers 1,000 times over in this town. With your pretty eyes and your jeans that you know are just a little too tight. And you pretend not to notice when Mr. Westmore and his friends have eyes that follow you everywhere as you walk across the set. And don't tell me for a second that you don't love it, Billy.
I got thrown out of my home.
That how you ended up out here? Looking for a fresh start and happiness? Hey, kid, you're all right in my book. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Have a whiskey, Mr. Miller. You heard of Gary Merrill?
Well, of course.
All About Eve. That was him and me. But the sequel, the bit where we got married for real, that stank. The others were nothing. Weak or crazy or jealous. All violent. But Franchot, he was something else. Talented, handsome, sophisticated. A theater actor like me. I respected him. I loved him. And Crawford could see that. So she went in for the kill. She could never let anyone alone, man or woman. She wanted it all. I couldn't believe he would be interested in her. I wanted him to want me. A real woman. Clever. Talented. A brilliant woman. But he chose her. And I was so disappointed. Not because I wanted him, but because he wanted her. He was the one man I looked up to, and he ended up with feet of clay. Because of her. He married her, for Christ's sake. I could never forgive him. Neither could she.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is a wrap.
turn the light off.
Oh, Miss Crawford, I'm sorry if I startled you.
Please, turn it off.
Miss Crawford, would you like me to get you a vitamin drink?
Oh, Billy. I always get like this at the end of my pictures. It's like saying goodbye to my family. Oh, God, look at me. If they could see me now, with mascara all over my face and my nose running. God. It's been hard to shoot. I'm exhausted. Where's Miss Davis?
I have no idea, ma'am. Do you want me to find her for you?
She won't want to see me.
Well, I'm sure she'd be happy to.
Billy, I'm not a saint. I know I'm not. I pretend I am sometimes, but that's our job, isn't it? That's what an actress does. Makes people happy. If I can't do that, then I'm nothing. I'm good at making people happy. But she can't, or doesn't want to, which is worse. And I don't understand what I ever did to her. She's wonderful. I truly believe that. The greatest actress of my generation. And I know she thinks I'm a phony, and she'll never admire me as a performer, but none of that would matter if she could just like me. I'm not that bad, am I?
No. Of course you're not. Why,
All
you're...
this time, we could have been friends. I would have loved her as a friend. She was the only woman I ever really wanted as a friend. I don't know why. I never understood why she didn't like me. I thought maybe somehow this movie could change things, but I was wrong. She'll never like me. It used to make me angry. Very, very angry. Because everyone loves me at some point. I wanted to get even. But now it makes me sad. Just sad. Because you know something, Billy?
What's that, ma'am?
Me and that cold-hearted bitch. Together we're phenomenal. I'll have that vodka now.
What do you think you're doing?
Oh, Miss Davis.
What the hell are you doing?
I had an accident. I'm so sorry. I got wig glue everywhere.
You got it on my fur. You got it all over my goddamn fur, you idiot. Do you know what that's worth?
God, I'm so sorry. Let me try and wipe it.
Don't touch it.
I'm so sorry, Miss Davis.
Oh, get up. Get this wig off me.
Do you get sad at the end of filming?
Shut up. Just unpin it. It's itching like hell. And burn the damn thing.
Ma'am.
Ow! Oh, be careful. Haven't you learned anything?
Sorry.
Pass me that cold cream. God, look at this face. I don't know how I've gotten away with it all these years.
Miss Davis, you are so...
Just shut up! I've had enough of you messing my head up with your probing and prodding. You want the truth? Well, truth is ugly. I'm ugly. It's cost me every relationship I've ever had. Cost me money, jobs, allies. But I'd still go for the truth every time. I've looked into the soul of every character I've ever played, and staring right back at me has been human nature. I took this movie to prove to them once and for all that if you put me up on the screen with that plastic woman next door, then I'd burn her out of memory. But do you want to know what the great big goddamn joke is? Somehow, some way, she's pulled out a performance. That woman is many, many dreadful things, but she is a star. I'll never be a star, just an actor. Maybe I'd rather have settled for being a star.
Yes?
William, it's me.
Yes, Miss Harper.
William, I am going to say this very clearly so that you understand it. What do you have for me? Come on.
I'm not sure.
This is the last big story I'm going to get out of those two washed-up old bitches, and you're going to give it to me. Jack Warner was right. This movie is going to be professional suicide for everyone involved. No wonder he didn't want to bankroll it. No one's going to be interested in either of them after this, so you give me the last bit of juice.
It's complicated.
Oh, nonsense. So, did you find anything out? Was it the Oscar? Professional rivalry? Who did what to whom? Did they have an affair? What is it?
Miss Harper,
Well, spill it.
You were right all along. It was about French haute tone. One got the man, the other didn't.
Ugh, how very domestic, like two little secretaries. It's a non-story.
Yes, Miss Hopper.
I should fire you, you know that? You're getting very lazy.
Ma'am, I object.
Oh, cut the little lost farm boy act. It doesn't wash with me. I have one more job for you. Rock Hudson's filming Spiral Road, and the rumor mill is going crazy. A football team is involved. I want you down there on Monday. You're on wardrobe.
Come on, Hedda, don't be a bitch. When are you going to get me a proper acting job like you promised? Come on, you said this was the last one, and then you were going to put me in a movie.
One more, William. Just one more. Then it'll happen. I'll make you a star. Dear reader, you're joining me, Hedda Hopper, at the 35th Annual Academy Awards ceremony at the Civic Auditorium in Santa Monica. What a night and what a lineup of stars. I am standing here with my dear friend Joan Crawford, whose film, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, is up for a number of awards. Of course, I always knew this film was going to be a major hit. You heard it here first. Joan, you must be delighted that the film has received such praise.
I'm absolutely thrilled, Hedda. Truly I am. And so pleased for everyone who worked so hard on the picture.
How do you feel that Bette Davis has been nominated for Best Actress, but you have not?
Oh, Hedda, I've always known that Betty would be chosen, and I hope and I pray that she wins.
Well, Betty is the favorite to win, but she has some stiff competition from Anne Bancroft and Geraldine Page, which brings me to your duty here tonight, Joan.
Why, yes. After I've had a quick Pepsi, I'm going to present the Best Director Award, and also I'll be picking up the Best Actress Oscar for darling Anne Bancroft, should she win. She's in New York doing a play.
And who have you voted for in the Best Actress category?
Why, the winner, of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must meet my fans.
Thank you, Joan. Oh, and speaking of the winner, is this her here? Miss Davis? Oh, how wonderful to see you here, accompanied by your beautiful daughter, B.D., and your dear friend, Olivia de Havilland.
Hello, Hedda. Yes, Olivia has flown in from Paris to be with me. Isn't that great?
Oh, how are you feeling?
I had a word with my two tarnished Oscars on the mantelpiece before I left this evening. And I promised them I'd bring them home a baby brother.
I take it you want to win. Everyone thinks it's a foregone conclusion.
Oh, yes, I want that Oscar, Miss Hopper. I have to be the first to win 3.
So, ladies, you stand here on the mark until the winner is announced. On the green light, the recipient walks to the stage. Go to the mic, wait for the lights, and the floor manager will give you a signal when to start your acceptance speech. Good luck.
Bless you, my dear. How kind.
And the Academy Award for Best Actress goes to
No hard feelings, Tony. This is for both of us.
Anne Bancroft for The Miracle Worker.
Step aside, Miss Davis. I have an Oscar to pick up.
Betty and Joan and Baby Jane was written by Tracy Ann Oberman. It starred Catherine Tate as Bette Davis, Tracy Ann Oberman as Joan Crawford, Matt Addis as Billy Miller, and Lorelei King as Hedda Hopper. The producer was Liz Anstey, and it was a CPL production for BBC Radio 4.